Teresa Melha, 2924 Cool Breeze Circle, St. Cloud, Florida. Good evening. First, I'd like to congratulate the new members of the council and welcome you here tonight. As a citizen that has attended 95% of all council meetings, council workshops, and public meetings and hearings for nearly 2 years, I would like to see Donnie Schroyer be appointed as deputy mayor. I speak to you tonight as an involved citizen, one that has been here for the last 2 years, almost every minute of every meeting. I have watched Donnie Schroyer for 2 years. He is passionate, articulate, approachable, and trustworthy. He makes the concerns of all the citizens a top priority and works with everyone to choose a fair and balanced resolution to anything that may come up. Most importantly, he is knowledgeable and up to speed not only on how the council works and is ran, but is completely up to date on the city business. He is familiar to us, the citizens, and an excellent go-between between City Hall staffers and the citizens. As a citizen, I'm proud of the work he has done on behalf of all of us and the business owners in town. I feel like he not only deserves this honor, but he has earned it too. Thank you for your consideration. I wrote this before this happened tonight. I wrote it before I came. And what I just saw right now, like a prearranged to-do deal before this council meet, I certainly hope this is not how you're all going to go on. This beginning is unacceptable to me as a citizen. It looked like you all pre-approved a backroom deal, and that is horrible to start. That's all I have to say.
Thank you for your input.
Thank you.
Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is John Rowles, former city councilman. I live at 430 Florida Avenue. Mr. Schroyer, I was disappointed in him in a particular situation that took place in our neighborhood. A street put on the side street of 4th Street up 5th Street. Sidewalks. We came as a group and informed city council that there was no need for these sidewalks to be put in. Well, they were concerned about all the kids that were going up and down these sidewalks from school. Well, evidently he didn't do enough research because the sidewalks did go ahead and be, in spite of the public's cry about it. The wife and I and the sidewalk are in, look very nice. However, the wife and I sit up in the morning and we see 4 kids every morning go down the sidewalks. Instead of that money should have been put into areas where the traffic was. Now, evidently, he didn't check with city staff in depth to confirm what they were saying. So, you know, I question his ability to make good decisions for the city.
Thank you, John, for your input. Does he need to fill out a form for the record? Okay. Would anyone like to speak? Please state your name and your address for the record. Thank you.
Good evening. Huette Crumpler, Michigan Avenue, St. Cloud, Florida. Linda, you have a form for me for the citizens forum. Is that adequate for this?
We won't need one for this because it's open.
Okay. Yeah, I had a lot to say on my citizens forum, and it just dovetails right into it. I want to welcome the new members, genuinely, and I'm hopeful that you will not live up to your reputations, but outlive them, live beyond that. And this is not a good start. One of the, I don't know anything about what happened here before, but I think you all are perceived, this is I'm going to preface this by saying this is my opinion, my concerns, but I believe they're shared by many of the 8,500 people who didn't vote for you. So I'm hopeful that you're going to take it to heart and try to do some building of bridges here. Because I genuinely want you to succeed. I want this what's best for the city, and I hope that you all genuinely do too, and it wasn't just a power play. But there is a perception that you colluded to get into office. And when I say that, I mean starting with Fred Hawkins, who held the Bible for the mayor today, and his good friends, and you guys go to the same church, and I think Miss Matheny does too, I'm not sure. But you guys worked together and got yourselves in office, And that's not a good thing, because what your citizens want, what I wanted, and the only reason I even ran for office, I want independence. I want independent people in these chairs that I can count on who will follow the sunshine laws without encouragement, without need of encouragement. And this is not a good start, because what we worry about is collusion. So it's kind of implied already that that's going on. So my hope here is this first example that you have, you'll try to do something different than maybe that was thought about beforehand, Mayor and others. And I think Mr. Schroyer would be a good, I mean, you've only got two people who have history here. So it's either Mr. Askew or Mr. Schroyer. And since Mr. Askew supported one of your all's campaigns, he doesn't seem very much like he's not in collusion either. So in the interest of independence and building a bridge, I would support the idea of Mr. Schroyer, and I had no idea that this was going to come up. So I just would hope that you'll hear me from the heart. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Crumpler, for your input. Would anyone like to speak? Wow. I have had no discussion with either of you on this issue. Have y'all had discussion with either?
No.
No, sir.
So I just wanted you to know that. We have a motion before us.
Mr. Mayor, can I say one thing? When I made this motion for Mr. Dave Askew, he has not been on this deputy mayor for the last 2 years. He's going into his third year. Mr. Schroyer has been on the deputy mayor once. Not once, he was given twice. 2 times, 2 years, he's been the deputy mayor. He gave it up so he could give it to Reinhardt, so Mr. Reinhardt could run for mayor. So it looked pretty good for Mr. Mayor to be the winning team. So I am saying that is why it's time to give Mr. Dave Askew. He has not had it, and it's after his third year. It should be rotated on a normal basis. Every year somebody should have it of one of these council members. I don't think that we should give it to one person 2 or 3 or 4 times just because they are doing a perfect job or a very good job. I think it should be rotated on a regular basis. That's my thoughts. Thank you.
Any other comment?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Just so that we can clear the air, it wasn't a 1 by 1 year. When we went to 4-year elections, every time we have an election is when we nominate and elect a new deputy mayor. So the reason I was a deputy mayor for 2 years is because we had 2 years for the next election. The council at the time decided to give it to Reinhardt. That is true. That's who it went to. That's how it went. It wasn't given up. It wasn't a game. I don't want to play games. I just think if someone is deserving, as you said, you would want to put the best people in play that have proven themselves to go above and beyond. Just simply rotating somebody into a position just because gives me a lack of reasoning to understand. So if this person who's on council does absolutely nothing, let's just give it to them? No, you'd want your most experienced person with merit, person who is a mover and a shaker, a person who has networked with Tallahassee, a person who's got the city in their back and ready to go. I don't want to sound like I'm all blowing whistle for myself, and I am right now, but I just know that David told me not too long ago that he really wasn't in the idea of being deputy mayor. But if this is what the mayor would like, then that's the way we will go.
The mayor didn't make the motion, by the way. Ms. Matheny, would you like to speak?
Yes. I just wanted to clarify, I think Chuck's motion was for a 1-year term, correct?
That is correct.
Correct, and I don't support the idea of just rotating it through all the council, but I think it should be voted on annually.
Every year. That's what I was.
We'd have to change that.
It's supposed to be every December, as a matter of fact, since charter. Any other nominations? If not, we have Mr. Askew has been nominated by Mr. Cooper, seconded by Matheny, to be our deputy mayor. How does the council please? Mr. Schroyer?
Aye.
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 Aye. And it carries 5-0. Thank you.